Yo, what's up guys, your boy Nitrostorm here, welcome back to Wuthering Waves. So, with 6 days remaining in the Whimpering Wastes, I thought I should create my review on this season's Whimpering Waste. So this is season 4 of Whimpering Waste, so this is like the 4th installment of Whimpering Waste. And without further ado, let's take a look. So, if you haven't seen my video regarding Infinite Torrents, the teams that I used were the double Yinlin team, so Yinlin and Ciaccona with Showkeeper as the support. And then for the second half, I used my usual Gion team. So technically you could say it's like a double arrow DPS rotation this time around with Ciaccona as, well, not really the main DPS, but she does do a lot of damage in this case. And then Gion, obviously, because he's a main DPS. And then the token of choice is the finale that fails to reach because it's got the easiest to manage buff, and it's a buff that benefits any kind of resonator, unlike this one where it's spectral damage focused, and this one which is resonance liberation damage focused. Now, let's take a look at the builds. So, first things first, the builds that I'll be showing you are old builds. I can show you an updated one soon, but this is the build that I used on my Gion. So as you can see, got a very high regen, okay crit, decent crit damage, and then pretty decent attack as well. And then if you take a look at the build here, these are the echoes. And the reason why I say it's old is because his new build currently uses a new monkey, which is this thing right here. Perfect stat, but the rolls are mostly low, so it's pretty unfortunate. And then secondly, since I have this one now that gives regen, I can now replace this energy regen main stat for this arrow damage main stat echo, resulting in a very healthy outcome. Now the crit damage decreased by 5, but our crit rate is now on the 70%, which is very nice. The attack went down a little bit, energy regen still at a solid number, and now we've got 30% more arrow damage. This is much nicer. Now, up next, Verena, still the usual. I kind of switched her back to just my max attack build. Maybe one day I'll have Verena at 2k attack, but for the time being, well, 2k attack with variation, to be fair. And then her echoes, just the usual attack, right? Attack, and then just getting as much regen as possible. Now, I could consider getting rid of this one for another energy main stat with more attack, because the others, well, maybe the others too, but this one's got a low attack percent bonus, unlike this one's got both main stat percentage and flat. But yeah, that's fine for Verena. And then Mortefi, I recently moved him to the Empyrean Anthem set. I think it does better overall. Now, in terms of the echo stats, I would say they're decent, right? Now, I have to, I unfortunately have to use the attack percent main stat for this one because, you know, I don't want to farm it too much. I'm kind of saving up materials at the moment. Preferably, these would also have crit rate, and then this would switch into a crit damage version of Hecate. So, you know, there's that. Now, moving on to the Yinlin team. So her build basically hasn't changed all this time. This is the Tempest Mephis. This is the Flautist, you know, just the usual stuff. I am missing 2 crit rate rolls, but because of String Master, I am still at a very healthy 72% crit rate, so there is that to consider. Now, moving on to Showkeeper. This is her usual build. Not really much have changed. Just your usual crit damage with HP percent, not too much, and then get some energy regen on the side. I am missing, I think, 10% more regen. I actually don't remember, but that doesn't really matter at this point. Now, I did forget about skill levels. Mortefi's level 10 liberation for Verena. Obviously, level 10s all round, except for normal attack on Gion. Yinlin, level 10s across the board, except for the intro skill. And then obviously for Showkeeper, level 10 across the board, except for the normal attack. And then last but not least, we have Ciaccona. So this is her build. Now, I don't remember if I've improved this lately, but if I have, then her old build was probably much worse, but this is very nice. Now, unfortunately, I am missing one crit rate and one crit damage roll, but you know, it's gonna have to make do. Again, I do not want to farm too much. And there you go. So obviously I didn't use my Changli this time around because she was s6r5. I wanted to see if it was still possible to get the 5.5k score without, you know, duped up characters. And as you can see, it still went well. Now, at the same time, you could argue that, you know, pulling for Brant, I guess I didn't need him, so on and so forth, because I didn't use these two, but I used these 6 right here. But in any case, that is it for Whimpering Waste review. In terms of the actual stage itself, it was actually fine. I mean, clearly, I was able to get well over 5.5k points. I'm very proud of this score. Gion is definitely doing great. Now, I think the reasoning for this is because both the token buff as well as the placement of the enemies. I don't think my Gion had too many issues trying to juggle enemies. There are a few points where the enemy is like very far away, causing a massive loss in DPS because I was ending up chasing the straggler instead of defeating everything at the same time to continuously make new waves appear. But still, over 1k over the 5.5k requirement. I think that is good enough for me. 60% crit damage buff is much larger than before. But in any case, let me know what you think about this Whimpering Waste. I think overall it's fine. I guess I can't wait to try the next one because the next one will include Cartethia. So that's gonna be spicy for me. In any case, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Are you going to be pulling for Cartethia? Are you going to be skipping? You know, let me know your game plan because we've got a lot of characters coming soon. On top of Cartethia and Lupo, we've got 6 more characters down the line. That is insane, you know, knowledge to have before they even come out. But yeah, it's been your boy Nitrostorm. I'll see you guys in the next stream or video. Peace.